Well, hello everyone. Merry Christmas Eve, as it were. I don't know what Pringle fucking is, but I assume that there's something along that one is something along the lines of that going on. So good evening, everybody. Welcome to my final stream of the week. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve, and the next day is Christmas. I probably won't be streaming those days, but I will try and get a schedule up on Christmas Eve for what streaming I will be doing next week. So, welcome to the stream. I am going to be, for the first time in my life, assembling Gunpla. And I've heard that once you start down this path, forever shall it dominate your shelf space. So, we'll see what happens. But I've always been a fan of, no jacket. I don't know if you noticed, but I did a different model technically every day this week. On Monday, I did sleeves down. On Tuesday, I did sleeves rolled up. And today, we're relaxing and making some models. So I figured no jacket, just relax and chill. Everybody can just kind of kick their feet back, relax, and have a good time. So I went through extra trouble to make sure that my video would work for today, because I wanted to make sure that I'm not just building this with nobody seeing what I'm actually doing. So, I have a camera set up, and oh, Atlas Eris, my Osha, welcome. You'll only be listening. That's fine. That's fine. Well, that's all right. You can go back. I will put VODs up onto YouTube. I've actually already transferred them over. I'm just making sure that all the descriptions and doobly-doos and whatnot all are right and giving credit to things before I slap them up. And I'll try and make sure they get up before they get deleted off of Twitch. But until then, VODs still are on Twitch if you want to go back and just take a look. But no, my art mom was really fantastic and made me 3 kind of outfits to go for this, and layered the image in such a way that she could draw me more stuff kind of as needed. So it was really, I just wanted to show that off this week, because this is, of course, the first week of play, but I'll probably just be sticking the different types of outfits to the different types of streams. So like if it's a more relaxed thing where I'm just kind of relaxing and doing crafting or just reading, something like this. Whereas if I'm doing a game, then I'm getting serious. I gotta have the jacket on. I have to feel like I can handle things. But yeah, so hopefully, Atlas, I know this is gonna be a building stream, so I'm sorry you're gonna miss the epic initial hand reveals that will happen. But I'm sure you'll get to see everything once you get home. And of course, again, there's always the VODs. So, without further ado, and maybe before Atlas hits the road, let us switch over to the hand cam. Ooh. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Don't want to get too copyright involved there, but here we go. The new Gundam. And hand for scale. So, I have never built this before. I've not even opened it. The little plastic slip covers here were still on. I don't know what is inside of this thing, but I'm eager to find out. Just as Stormcloud is eager to see what is going on over here, because Stormcloud is on the desk looking at this, going, what on earth is happening? Oh, and Gremlin just came up and saw something's going on. You may actually get to see live Stormcloud and Gremlin. Potato is currently napping, so he probably will not be showing up. But there may be Puppy and there may be Kitty Cat. We'll see. I do have tea in a kitty cat mug. Because let me tell you, Tuesday, I went a little harder than I expected I was going to go with doing all those voices with a long journey to an uncertain end. I had such a blast, but afterwards my throat was like going, what did you do? Why you warned people about this? And I'm like, yeah, I know, but you get excited about a game, you get excited about characters, and you want to get into it. And so I got into it, and I gave all the different characters different voices, or tried to give them as different voices. And oh, we have a Stormcloud. First Stormcloud sighting ever. Hello, little kitty. Oh yes. Oh. Are you exploring and seeing what's going on? Are you going to try and knock something off? No? Okay. That's a good kitty cat. Yes, oh, good Stormcloud. Yes, oh. What a good baby, yes. She's like, I am far too dignified for that treatment, sir. But I'll take the scritches. I'm just imagining now Atlas on the road being like, I didn't see the cat. I can't see the kitty cat. Oh! Aw, yes. Don't worry. I'm sure that both Gremlin and Stormcloud will come back on camera. Oh, okay. Come on, Gremlin. You can't... If you want to get on camera, you got to come over to this side. You can't go where Stormcloud is. Come on. Here we go. Juggling small animals while trying to do a hand cam stream. All right. So, I have only seen a little bit of Universal Century Gundam. I don't know much about the new, other than what I saw of it while playing Gundam Evolution. And it was all right. All right, come here. Okay. Putting Gremlin in my lap. Let's see. There we go. Gremlin just peeking onto the stream for a second, sniffing everything. Don't sniff the microphone. No, you can't have the tea. All right, come here. Oh, and Stormcloud's back. They're putting the Gundam between them. So, I don't remember what I was just saying a second ago, but I haven't seen much of Universal Century. I've seen the original Gundam, like the original show, and I've seen a little bit of Zeta. I don't know where the new fits into things. It's an interesting design. But not one of my favorites, but it's still really solid. Hey, come on. Don't stop. No, don't lick the microphone. Gremlin. You can't stay in my lap if you're going to lick the microphone. Yeah, Peepaw without the coat, Fen. How's it going? Happy Christmas Eve. My captions read Peepaw as Peep-Pole. But Fen, you're missing the more important thing, which is that there's something small, dark, and furry on one side of the camera here, and come on, Gremlin on the other side. Okay, down you go. You can't be up here if you're going to be constantly trying to drink my tea. Yeah. So here's Stormcloud. Sweet little baby. Oldest of the bunch. Smallest of the bunch at about 7 pounds. I now have white fur all over my nice desk and my pants. We have a black cat, a white dog, and a brown dog. There is no clothing you can wear in this house that will not get some kind of pet fur on it. Let me tell you. But yeah, I've actually, so it was subtle on Tuesday, but when I went from Monday to Tuesday my sleeves were rolled up. And today I don't have the jacket on at all because I'm just chilling doing some Gundam building. So yeah. Oh yeah, no offense. That is also just, you have no chance. You get a microfiber brush and pray. That's the best you can do. All right, so I have yet to actually open this up and see what is inside. Yes, I'm moving things. That's what I'm doing here. That's why there's a camera, Stormcloud. I'm thank you for helping. All right, so let's see here. We've got a whole bunch of things here. I'm going to put that right here. So this actually isn't much from the looks of it. It's like 4 sprues. Oh, there's a loose piece in here. Couple loose pieces. Well, they said I didn't need tools to take the pieces off the sprues, and I guess that's right. Gonna have to figure out what is what when that is done. Oh yeah, I joke about me having no chance here, but this is just, it's new to me, so like, and I haven't done model building in some time, but I also like, am used to model building wherein I get Zap-A-Gap glue out and really, really tiny paintbrushes and go to town. In retrospect, I probably should have, at some point, moved a couple of my old minis in here so I could show off, my brilliant painting skills. But I say that with some deprecation involved, because I did Warhammer 40k many a year ago, and I was okay. I was no grand master of painting miniatures by any means, let me tell you, but I had fun, and that's honestly is the most important thing when you're making minis and models and other stuff like that, is have fun. Oh yeah, Warhammer. So Warhammer is terrifying for a number of reasons. Like the amount of money I spent on this model, which I think is like not a lot for what it is. I think it was close to $10 even. But like next to nothing. You couldn't get anything in 40k for $10. Like a tank these days costs close to 100. It's absurd. Yeah. And so, I mean, I've seen the prices for some of the more expensive models, and I've looked at some of the ones that look good. Because, like, there's that one I mentioned on another stream. I think it was on your stream, Fen, where that Stormbringer full armor something or other monstrosity from I don't know what series. I think it was a Build Fighters series. That thing was like $70 for a master grade, and like. I don't think that's a bad deal, all things considered. I know that P-Bandai jacks up the prices a little bit from what I've heard, but I don't really know much. But like $70 for a model that is, pretty big, honestly, strikes me as perfectly fine. All right, so I have to get some scissors out to open up these bags. And it says, first, I have to do the head. Usually that's the last thing that forms on like a giant robot, isn't it? All right, and that uses... Trying to figure this out here. All right, so... Okay, A17, B8. All right, so let's just start cutting some things open here. There's some... Looks like there's some decals here, but I guess that's for the shoulder piece. I'll come back to that in a moment. So here's the runners, or at least one of them. This is the decal sheet, which I don't know if these are decals or stickers specifically, but I'll come back to that. I'm going to put little loose bits in there and eventually little sprue bits if those are necessary. All right. So it says A1D. There's something from... Okay, so there is something from D in here, so I do have to open up this second bag. So I got to open this whole thing up. And I gotta be careful because this one has loose bits running around in it. So I'm gonna open it up into the top. Don't know where those bits are from, but this is the D part. This is the only D part. Okay, so we got A1, not the steak sauce. This is A2. This is C, and this is B. Oh, and B is the one that's got some parts missing. Okay, so I can see... Okay, I can see two of them very obviously what part they are. The other one... Oh, goodness, okay. So you can see some parts fell off here. Oh yeah, plastic has some part. Don't even have the camera set up, so I got to get part. This is the B. This is the B tray here. So this is B. All the markings are on. Okay, that's the side they're on. So I need B8. All right, so B8. Here we go. So say I can just spit spin these off, basically. Okay. So there's that. And B1. Okay, that's this part. This one's a little harder. This one's not coming off so easy. So I may have to get out the sharp objects here. Whoop, just lost another piece. Oh boy, all right, here we go. Okay, 1 part came off, 2 part came off. Okay, and 3 part came off. Okay, let's see how smooth that is. I want to get out like a magnifying glass, but it's not bad. I could sand that down or something. Well, fortunately, the piece is dropped into a box, so I'm being at least somewhat proactive in keeping the mess from getting too out of hand. But I don't know what parts they are because they fell off the sprue. So yeah, so I've got B1, I've got B8, which is this little face mask thing. I need A17. So that's this one, A17. Okay. These 3.1s are going to give me a conniption every time because I'm just looking here going like, okay, how are they going to come off? Okay, here we go. Easy does it. There we go. I mean, but look at how small this part is in my hands. Look at this. This is tiny. It is smaller than my pinky nail. Look at that. Absolutely minuscule. This piece, terrifyingly small. I don't know what I'm going to do about this. All right. So we've got A17, D1, which is this part right here, which is another 3-point holder. All right, that's 1, 2, and 3. All right, there we go. So B8. All right, so let's see. D1 goes on to A7 like that. Looks like. A little closer here. And then B8 goes on like this. Looks like. Okay, I think I see where that's going. And then B1 slides down. Oh, okay. I wasn't sure how that was going to work, but it actually looks really nice. Here, take a look, everyone. See if I can get the camera to zoom in on that. Detail is tiny, tiny, tiny. Here, come on. You can do it, camera. I know you. There you go. Look at that. Look at that detail. RG Crossbone. Also, hello, DatCat. Welcome aboard. My name is Borden Rise. I'm an old man voyage side mechanic. It means I fix things in space. And today I'm building my very, very first Gunpla ever. So I'm doing the entry grade new, which because that was recommended to me by several people as the most satisfying and easiest way into Gunpla. RG Crossbone. I will take a note of that. I don't know. So I actually don't know that much about Gundam. I've seen the original show. I've seen a little bit of Zeta. I watched all of which for Mercury because I adore that show. But beyond that, I've only recently gotten into Gundam, actually. My first exposure was back in the day. I went to an anime convention and saw F91 being shown, like in a, not like in a theater, but like in a convention room that was made up to be like a theater. And I love the movie. I don't remember anything about it other than like the first 5 minutes of battle, which were terrifying. But yeah, I'll definitely take that into account. The RG Crossbone. I'm gonna look that up real quick right now. Let's see here. RG Crossbone. Also, if you hear anything in the background, Potato and Gremlin are currently playing. So, let's see here. Oh. Oh, that looks pretty cool. I'm seeing something here, Crossbone Gundam X1, Crossbone RG, Gundam RG. Oh, that looks really cool, honestly. I like that thruster array on the back. Well, I mean, some model kits are going to be like that. I mean, I've seen various giant robot designs, and I gotta be honest, I don't know how some folks can possibly build them in ways that are functional. But that headpiece came together way nicer than I thought, because the little green piece that was on D8 looked just very weird, and I didn't realize it was going to form the coloration on the fin as well as the eyes. And that entire red piece really only shows a little bit of the chin, but the structure between the two of them fills out the rest of the head, and that's really interesting. Okay, I'm going to put that in here for right now, just so it doesn't go flying off somewhere as I work on another part. So let's see here. Now I've got to get, let's see. All right, I need B18 and B19. So that's buried now. And could be one of the parts that is missing. Nope. Okay, so let's see here. B18. All right, B18 and B19. This one I feel is going to come off a little bit easier. But yeah, I hear that when I listen to people talk about Gunpla, that that some kits are more fun builds than others, and I definitely can understand that, because taking like the concept art. Well, okay, that worked. I was afraid I was going to break something. All right, I also need Charlie 4. Charlie 4. Where is Charlie? Okay, Charlie's the one back here. And I need part 4. This part terrifies me. Just because I worry I'm going to snap off this bit while trying to work it free. But for right now, let's worry instead about the kind of ball joints here. Uh-oh. See that? Look at that. Got a little bit of too much play there on that sprue. You have to... There we go. Shore that up. Hope the rest of that doesn't come off so much. So, okay, so now we go B18, which is this part. And then this part slides in like so, according to the instructions. I do believe. Am I getting this right? Only time will tell. Sooner or later, time will tell. There you go. Something doesn't feel right with this. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Ooh. All right. And now we put this part on like so. Ooh. That's, huh. Well, that's neat. Not a lot of play, but still some. Okay, all right. I can dig it. Put that aside for right now. All right, now we need A19 and A110. You put that there. A19 and A110. That is, oh, these two. All right. But yeah, when you're drawing a robot on a piece of paper versus trying to build a 3D model of one, there's inherent complications in it. And a lot of people don't build robots, design robots that are meant to, like, actually work. So that anybody has been able to put together these kinds of kits for any kind of robots in these shows. Honestly, I'm just impressed they're able to do it at all. Oh, it's actually pretty good. All right. I mean, I enjoy drawing robots and starships and whatnot. I don't draw as much as I used to, but a little bit of thing there. I could probably do something about that. But I always liked drawing and making stuff. Like when I was building my starship here, I actually sketched out a very rough design of what I wanted for the ogre hull. And then built it accordingly. Looks almost like it's too easy. Like something more should have to be done here. See, like I see that little bit of flash right there, and part of me wants to get like an X-Acto knife or a bit of sandpaper or something, just wear that down. But we'll come back to that. All right, now we got Charlie 3. Okay, so that's one I was worried about earlier. Take that right there. And then Bravo 14. Bravo 14. Is that one of the ones that fell off? I should be so lucky, huh? Alright. Bravo 14. Here we go. Atlas Eris, you're back! My goodness! Sadly, Stormcloud and Gremlin have both left. But if you go back in the VOD, you will be able to see them appropriately. Also, welcome! I have hands. Real hands. Big hands. Tiny little piece of plastic, that. I'm sure Meow Meow Hours will come back, and of course I do have tea in a Meow Meow mug, so... And you can hear Gremlin right now playing behind me. Hello, Gremlin. Have you come to say hello to everybody? Alright, hold on. Wait. Come here. Oh, see that easy. Oh, wow. Look at this. Look at this. No, don't eat it. There we go. Yes, oh. You can sniff, but no eating, okay? Look at that. Look at this face. The snoot. Oh, yes. Alright, down you go. Only 30 pounds, but getting so big. I gotta get white hair off of my desk again. Yeah, she's a little baby. She's almost not a baby anymore, let me tell you. Okay, so let's see here. I had to get Charlie 3, Bravo 14, and put them together like so. Gotta get this in right. Come on. There we go. All right, and now see. Does it matter? Okay. I'm glad I kept this box part here, let me tell you. All right, so I don't think it matters which way I put this in, just that I put it in. All right. There we go. Potato. Come here. Sorry, Gremlin and Potato are now trying to play. And they're going to make some strange noises, so I apologize for that. The one that sounds more angry is Gremlin. The one that's making that's Potato. Potato is nearly 80 pounds. Gremlin is just over 30. They make such weird noises. Alright, that's it for that tea. Now I switch to my water. Okay, calm down, you two. Alright. Hey, calm down. Sit. Sit. Good baby. Yes. You're both good babies. Calm down. Relax. If you need to play, we'll play on the other side of the house, okay? There we go. No? You're gonna chase it? Alright. So we may have weird animal noises. It's silly hours. It is playtime. Alright, so A111. There we go. Here is A1. And A111. There's 10. Here's 11. Wow. That is blended in. Look how tiny this part is to me. How small. How minuscule. I'm terrified I'm going to break it just by trying to force it out like this. I feel like I need, like, microscope glasses and, like, robot arms to work with this kit. Alright, there we go. Small little red piece. That goes... What? Okay. I have veteran Gunpla builders on stream. What on earth does that mean? I don't understand it. It says tightly fit the parts as far as they will go. And I'm guessing it means I gotta get something to, like, poke it in there or something? Is that what I'm seeing? Is that what this is? Like, I'm confused. Because I don't see that part. They don't have a part number for it. It's just this thing. And, like, I'm going to get it in there as far as I can get it. But... okay. Like, I got it in there. Like, I can... my fingernails are just barely long enough to work that in. But that confused me for a moment. Alright. Now I gotta get his nipples in here. Alright, let's take a look. A1-1 and A1-2. Yeah, so's Gremlin. Atlas, so's Gremlin. You saw her go for one of those pieces. They do look like candy. I'm like, I've seen the Jamie Heineman video of putting together the RX 78. Like, I don't know if it's real grade or if it's whatever it is, but the one where they have like the knee joint on the same runner, I guess. I keep calling them sprues. And so, like, but like, I'm still just kind of amazed that they have 4 different colors of plastic on this one sprue. This one piece. And I can see, like, the mold points. But, like, what kills me is how perfect those mold points are. Like, it almost looks like they were just snapped together. Was it just, you know what? You're right. It was Adam. I keep saying, you know why I said Jamie? Because Jamie Heineman's a funnier name to say. And that's a heck of a thing to say when the other name is Adam Savage. But here we are. But no, you're right, Fen. It was Adam. I don't know if the Mustache Man would actually do Gunpla. I don't know if he would enjoy it. Alright, so here we go. Working in the nipples. Or the pasties, I guess. That's what these would be. Alright. There we go. Again, I got little pieces of flash here that I feel like I want to deal with, but we'll deal with that later. I can probably just deal with it another time. Alright. So that's done. Put that there for a moment. Alright. So, now we need A120. That's this bit. A119. And A118. There we go. All right. Oh, no, that's not how it goes together. It goes together like that. Huh. Ooh. Yeah, that definitely. I can definitely see the appeal of the snaps. That is nice. Ooh, yeah, there we go. That's the stuff. Alright, now we get A116, 17, and 15. So 17. Let's flatten a little bit here. I know that another model I'm probably going to do on stream is one that's not actually a Gundam. Because, whoop. Put that there for right now. I saw that there are Gunpla kits that are not Gundams. And I was like, okay, well, some of these I might just want to get. Because there are some things that I like from various shows. Because I like a lot of different robot styles. Okay, so this goes onto here. So 16 was this bit. And 17 goes on top of that. And then 15 goes a bit like that. Ooh, okay. Now we get A16 and A114. But yeah, there's some shows that I just really love from, or some robot design, some shows like, I love, well, Miku I don't know I'm gonna get necessarily, but Macross, oh, I like some Macross designs. I love the Valkyrie, and I love some of those other ones. I kind of wish, and I don't know if this is the case. Oh, goodness, this is a piece. Right there. I thought that was just Flash. Goodness. Alright. That goes there. And then B13 and B12. And of course, those aren't the ones that fell off earlier. No, can't make things easy for me. Alright, there we go. But yeah, like, and then I found out there was one for a robot called the Scope Dog. And I have a mighty need for that one. Alright, let's see that. Looks right. I'm worried I got these reversed and don't even know it, but I think it's okay. There we go. Okay, yeah, here we go. Sorry, every time I want to take a closer look at it, I pull it off camera, so I apologize if that means I suddenly take something away off of the screen. Alright, here we go. Put that in there. And then this tiny god-awful piece right here. Okay. But yeah, and when Armored Core 6 stuff starts coming out, the 30-minute missions for Armored Core 6, oh, I'm in trouble, because that game is good, and the customization is fun. Alright, so here we go. I need B2 and 3, and B4. But B4 what? 2. Oh god, another tiny, tiny, tiny piece. But I definitely understand the need to collect Miku. I have a need to collect a bunch of things. Usually they're astromechs, but Gundam now. I mean, so far, like, the little bits of flash aside, because I am taking this apart with just my bare hands instead of with, like, tools and whatnot. Because I wanted to see, like, how workable that was. I am now going to see a decent job here putting these things together in an interesting way. Now, they made it so... Alright, so they say with the part out like that, and then come on. Totally not what that is, of course. In no way would anybody ever mistake a beam saber for a lightsaber. That would just be silly, right? Like nobody would ever make that mistake. All right, so we got A14. Is this? Which one's this? You've got to be freaking kidding me. Okay. Take a second here. These tiny, godforsaken little pieces here will be the death of me. I feel like I need to build in, like, master or perfect grade just so the parts aren't so freaking small. But then I know that, like, there's going to be some detail part or something, some weird little gubbin that's going to need to be taken out, and it's going to drive me insane. All right, so 24 and 25. B24 and B25. All right, so that's these ones. Okay, so this side's 24, and this side's 25. Okay, cool. That's how you can tell them apart. So otherwise, they are the exact same pieces. I can tell Gremlin hello for you. Gremlin! 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 Oh, what a good girl. Atlas Eris says hello. Yes. She is currently jumped up on my thigh with her front paws and says, hello, I love you. There you go, good girl. You can go back to playing with the potato now. All right, so let's take a look here. I have to put these together. So this is one set and that's the other set. And I got to put this together in... Oh, okay. All right. I see what's going on here. All right. Now I understand what's going on here. Yeah, Gremlin is a sweet little baby. Even if she makes horrific noises. All right, so now I need B11. I'm losing my mind. There's 10. There's 15. So here's 10. Here's 15. Here's 12. Here's 13. Am I losing my mind? Okay, here's 11. Okay, so one of the pieces that fell out was an 11. Okay. Just need to identify it. That looks like the right one. So B11. All right, there we go. And now we're moving back to Charlie. Charlie. What are we going to do with you, huh? All right, C15 and C7. Wait. Oh, okay. I think I get it. Okay, so C15 goes to C7. No, C7 and C15. Okay, so C14 goes with C15. Okay. And C7 goes with C10. Okay, all right. Oh, okay. Cool. All right, so I put these together like so. Whoop. Whoop. Oh, I must switch all of the animals at my earliest convenience. I will endeavor to do so. All right, so now B11 goes over these pieces like so. No, wait. Okay, hold on. Angle here. Like so. Okay. All right. And now I get parts C13 and C9 and attach them appropriately. And I've already forgotten which side was which. I think 13 was this side, so we'll do it this way. Okay, and that makes this one work, and everything seems to be working out just fine. Okay, yeah. Whoop. All right, we've got a joint. Now we go right arm. Okay. So B7 and B6. So this is 7. There you go. Come on. 7. And this is B6. Potato. Oh, all in the room. Dripping brown bags? Oh, my 3 weed-smoking girlfriends. Alright. Yes, okay, Gremlin, you get one. Potato, come. Okay, we're all three in the room. A little kiss for Gremlin. A kiss for Potato. And a little kiss for Stormcloud. Gotta go across the room for this one. There we go. Okay, I'll put it where you normally get them. Here. Here we go. Upsy daisy. Gremlin, no. Do not jump on me while I'm holding your sister. That's not nice. Okay, here we go. Gremlin, calm down. Sorry, Gremlin gets very excited around Stormcloud. She wants to be best friends. Best friends. Absolute best friends. And has all the patience of a small puppy. Stormcloud, meanwhile, is an older kitty cat. Here, you want to come around this way? Here. Have that. Nope. Okay. There you go. Stormcloud is retreating back to her nook. Gremlin, down. Off the desk. There you go. Go girl. Okay. So where was I at? B6 and B7. And this is just the right arm. So I pick one. Does it matter? Let's see. All right, so this goes like that. And then this part gets put on like so. Oh, okay. Like so instead. All right. And then I need C11 and C12. All right, that's these two. Also, I'm sorry I don't have a soundtrack for everyone to listen to, but I haven't figured out a good way to do that yet. So I would just recommend listening to the Witch from Mercury soundtrack, which is awesome. Let's see here. A220. Oh, we finally can pull something off of A2. A227. 27. All right, add these pieces to the trick. All right, so come on, off you go. All right, so that goes off like this. Ooh. All right, and this goes together like that, with 12 being up here and the 11 being down here and going in like so. Ooh. Ooh. Shiny. I like it. All right. Okay. Now I take this, one of these two, from 3, and put it together. So it doesn't matter which way. Ooh. All right. I see what you're doing here. All right, now I need B10 and C16. All right, B10. Oh, no. Only gotten one order in the last 45 minutes. I mean, I don't know what time it is by you, Kai, but it doesn't sound terribly promising. C16. I'd say, I don't know. I mean, that's a call that I think only you can make. But I'd say if you're getting frustrated, do what you got to do. Oh, that's interesting. The back of the hand is actually missing on this. So now I gotta take a look at this real close. Oh, okay, so that fits into the top part like this. Ooh. Ain't that something? Now. Oh. Oh. Well, would you look at that? Huh. I thought there'd be less range of motion on that. Alright, now we're doing left arm. Alright. A226. Oh, okay. But yeah, I'd say, I mean, it's a Saturday night. It's the night before Christmas Eve. I'm gonna guess that a lot of people are gonna be probably not as inclined to do takeout tonight as they are going to be tomorrow night or the day after. A15. This piece. Even though it is Saturday night, which is normally a prime time for takeout and delivery. But yeah, I'd say maybe give it another couple of minutes and see what shows up. Otherwise, just it might be time to then throw in the towel. All right, let's see here. Oh, and I need B5 too. All right. All right, B5. Yeah, I feel like the real orders aren't going to come till either late tonight or like into tomorrow. All right, let's see here. So, like that. Yeah, like that. With this in like... Okay. And then... Huh. It's interesting. Yeah, no, definitely get some food, kind. Like, definitely, everybody, take breaks. I'm actually in solidarity, kind. I'm gonna take a sip of my big. I want to show you how big this water thing is. This is my water. This is what I have every stream. I'm gonna take a sip of this. Gremlin, baby, calm down. Sorry. I know you all can hear Gremlin going just nuts. She loves wrestling with Potato. Alright, so C5 and C6. But yeah, definitely get something to eat, Kai. And take care of yourself. And everybody, drink some water, eat some food, take your meds, do what you need to do to just get by and survive. A reminder to take your meds if you haven't yet today. Drink some water. eat some food. I ate before stream, so I should be good for a while yet, because I'm making some pretty solid progress here. Like, I've got what looks like the chest, the backpack, and the head, and I guess this is like the waist right here. And I'm about to finish up on the left arm. So I need A227. A227, 22, 23, 24, 25. Ah, here we go. Right, this part. Come here. I haven't put any of the stickers on yet. And I don't know. So, if any of the Gunpla experts are still in the stream, perhaps avail upon me. It says sticker on the thing, but I know that sticker sometimes means decal. So, what is it? Is it a sticker or is it a decal? Do I need to slow roast it in some water first, or do I need to just let it exist? Do I, like, just peel it off with an X-Acto blade? Okay, let me take a look here, because there's a symbol here. Oh, yeah, okay. Looks like it's an actual sticker. Yeah, thank you. Okay. I'll still have to, I think, cut it out, because it's on, like, the same sheet as the big one there. But I can probably do that. I got some sharp objects I can use. Alright. Pulled all that out. Alright, so we got this bit, this bob there. And then throw this together. Like that. And now this part. Oh, right, I gotta do it. Like that. And skadoosh. Alright. Alright. Now it says, take part 1. Pop it on there. Oops. Okay. Alright. Gotta be a little careful with that part. Alright. Now take parts 4 and 5. Do that. Alright. Now it says, waste. Oh, wait, it never... Did it tell me I have to put the other part in? Oh, yeah. I missed a whole step right there. I'm a silly little goober. Okay, here we go. Ah, look at that. Ready to play that Gorilla VR game. Alright. Now I'm working on the waist. So that was just the abs. You can do crunches. Alright. Oh, did I also miss the part where I put the backpack on? I did, didn't I? Yeah, I completely missed the part where I put the backpack on. Okay. Hooray! I live! Except for my lower half there. That's a little bit that's missing. Alright, here we go. Now we actually get started on the waist. See, this is the part I think that really just is the most useless when it comes to the models. Because every second you spend on here is a real waste of time. But all right, A112. No, wait, this is A2. A112. Okay, this section right here. Just making little noises like you do. And I go to A222, so I have to put this one back out again. Okay. All right. You're gonna sleep so hard tonight, let me tell you. All right. These two go together like so. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, I know, right? Like, I'm surprised this hasn't happened already so much with the streams, because usually they're tuckered, they're napping. It's no big, but tonight, boy howdy, they are going at it. All right, so A113, that's this bitty bob. Like, I can close my door, but you're still gonna hear it. And then you'll hear the scratching at the door, like, let me in. Let me in. I just want to play. All right, B15. Oh, now we're getting some big bits here. Like, it sounds like an apocalypse back there sometimes, but they really just are playing and very enthusiastic in their noises. One of the first noises that's Gremlin ever made is currently immortalized as my raid sound, where she sounds rather akin to a very irate tauntaun. Kind of like that, honestly. And now I gotta find B16, which fell off. Okay, that's this part, looks like. Okay. So this goes into this part like that. Ooh. Then this goes into that part. Oh, like that. And this part. Oh, look at that. And this part. No, that didn't do the thing I wanted to do. All right, so is this the right part? It looks like the right part. All right, hold on just one moment. I'm gonna go separate them for just a second. Okay. Hopefully they'll calm down just a little. I gave them a couple of smooches and gave them some other toys to play with. Hopefully they'll take the hint. But now, I gotta figure out what's going on here. Because, like, it looks like... Oh. Oh. Okay, I was putting it too low. Yeah, small beasts, indeed. And also babies. They are very sweet. I love them. And they love each other, honestly. Alright. Now, I'm not missing anything here where it says to plug the waste into the chest, am I? No? No? Okay, good. Alright. Put that off to the side for a second. Put this off to the side for a second. Alright. Oh! Oh, taking a stretch. Oh. Ooh. Oh. All right. Gonna take a small sip on top of that. Oh, yeah. I think I need to train my closed captions a little better because said stretch, it thought trip. I don't know what's going on there. All right, I need Bravo and Charlie, which are currently at the bottom here. Okay, so, oh, wait. I think we have one of the parts that fell off. B27, 27. Yeah, both of these pieces fell off already. Huzzah and hooray. All right, so now we got C27 and C22. All right, these two bits and bobs. Wait, hold on. No, I'm skipping ahead. B27. Okay, so I need C25. All right, this one and C20. All right. Cool. Yeah, I got one that was recommended to me. Like it's a special one. And it's got some nice features to it from what I understand. But I still have to be able to, like, it's got to be able to actually, like, accurately get what I say to be of any real value and use. Like, I'm sure people who make use of these are able to figure out a lot of things from context clues. But since you can't really read my facial language and my body language usually, I'm rather relying on the program to do the work for me because I can't really get someone to... Okay, Gremlin, here. Stormcloud, here. Stormcloud, come this way. No fighting on the desk, come on. Stormcloud is swatting at Gremlin, and Gremlin was like, okay, I can swat back, right? No, don't do that. I know that you don't like it when Stormcloud swats at you, but she's doing it because she wants you to go away for a second. You are much bigger than her. Even though you didn't used to be. You only used to be a little bigger than her. Atlas says hi, Gremlin. Focus time back there. What are you doing, huh? It's less that Gremlin is bullying Stormcloud, and more that Gremlin is just in Stormcloud's face and wants to be best friends and play like puppies do, because clearly Stormcloud is a small puppy with very sharp claws. And Stormcloud is trying to disabuse Gremlin of that, but they're actually very sweet with each other. Hey, Captain Zero, welcome in. We are building the entry grade new Gundam. My very, very first Gunpla kit ever. It was highly recommended to me as a great introduction into the Gunpla scene, and I'm kind of seeing why. Like, there's a lot of really nice, satisfying parts. And even though I don't need any tools, I feel like I'm going to eventually have to get something. Because, as it stands, I don't, like, I see these bits of flash that are all around, and I'm like, I could do something with that. I could take that off. I have the technology. I have sharp objects. So, all right. So let's see here. We got these big Things here. Where is this? Ah. Tiny. Look at. I have these hands. And this is the piece of plastic they want me to try and manipulate with these things. Look at this. Gaze upon the ridiculousness. You can see the ridges of my fingers clearer than you can the piece of plastic. Not only do I have hands, Atlas Eris, you can see a scaling of my hands here. They are ridiculous. Oh, what happened there? Did it? I could have sworn I fixed that. I am so sorry. Hold on a second. Nightbot has not been behaving. I am telling you that right now. Excess emotes. Let's see, options. Yeah, it should be like you would have had to put in like 40 emotes to trigger that. That's what it should have been. Was it the periods? What? Too many periods. Excessive symbols. Hold on. It should have taken 20 symbols. What's going on here? Excess caps, repetitions. I disabled repetitions. I don't know what's going on with that. I didn't even see what got in the queue. Oh! Okay. I am sorry. It said stop spamming symbols. I'm going to up that again. I had it at 20. I'm going to put it to like 50. Okay, hopefully. Sorry, apparently too many full stops got you in trouble. I apologize. But yes, big meaty hands. If I had a soda can around here, I could do the old soda can in the hand trick. Actually, give me just 1 second. I'll be right back. Stormcloud went down to say hello. And they're off. This is a full-sized soda can. Oh, did Stormcloud show up on stream? I'm glad she didn't knock too much over. But yes. There we go. Okay. Yeah, the other side is a nice bright pink, but I figured I'd get something that would not be a regular color for most of the kits that I'd get. And if I got one that was like a purple like this, like say a Dom or something, I can flip it over on the hot pink. We'll add some extra contrast. And yeah, okay. Fennel's losing it. So, okay, here we go. So I think I put this in like that. So he can have toes. Look at his feet live on stream. For free? I'm sorry. I think I just gave you a warning. I think the first warning it gives for Nightbot is like a 10-second timeout. Penis hands and having a crisis. Hold on. What's going on here? What's happening? I think I mentioned at some point that I've got giant meat hooks for hands. But it wasn't going to be until this stream that was going to become readily apparent. But so yeah. So let's see here. Put the toe beans in. Oh, I forgot to put these parts together. And yes, I called those things toe beans. I cannot be stopped. Ooh. Ooh. I like that. But yeah, so now you all know. You've seen the fact that I am in fact quite large. Let's see, C30 and C18. Here we go. 30 and 18. So that's this one and these two. Opposite sides of the runners. I was actually half tempted to put on some work gloves to make my hands seem even bigger at the beginning of the stream, just as a joke, because there's like, when I say work gloves, I mean like gardening kind of gloves, leather and everything, to make it just seem incredibly enormous. But there's no way I could have done any of this with those. I would be fumbling pieces even more than I am now. All right, let's see here. These look identical, so all right. Ooh. Listen to that. Delightful. Yeah, clearly I'm just going to have to do ASMR with Gunpla at some point. And just forgive everybody forgives me for spamming certain sounds. Okay, so we need 23 and 22. So that's these bunches right up here. Oh, I don't know if everyone saw this, but if you haven't yet, you should. C27 and 22, all right. The director, I think it was, for Witch from Mercury, said, in no uncertain terms, that Suletta and Mjolnir were married. Just, that's it, they're married. No questions, no open to interpretation. Just, they are married, hashtag get over it. That's the canon ending. And I say good. Open to interpretation. Cowards. That's what I say. Alright, and looks like. There we go. And C24. This little. Yeah, I got about zero time for the nonsense of, oh, the show where they're very openly queer. They weren't actually queer. Like, no, just fucking let it happen. Let the stories be told. I will curse more when I talk about stuff like that, because I genuinely am like, just stop trying to silence people about, their lived experiences and telling stories around that kind of stuff. Like, just let people freaking live, I apologize if that's too much, but it's just one of those things that I'm like, the curses can come out for that. I got no patience for it otherwise. Like, I'm of the Terry Pratchett school of I'm very angry at things frequently, Mostly that people aren't being kind to each other when they could be, when it'd be simple, when it's just the easiest thing in the world to just let people live their damn lives. All right. I should probably flip that one around. All right, there we go. That's the stuff. That's the ticket right there. Friendship rings. Yeah, I remember that guy. Oh, yeah, no. I remember I was like, first off, how dare you? And secondly, you're right. First off, how dare you? But also, you're very right. I can't argue the point because it's true. All right, C28. There we go. Come on. Friendship rings. Absolutely a thing that absolutely happens. You know, these two people, they were roommates. Of course, it being so close to Christmas, I may impromptu sing the one, or at least part of the one Christmas song I can sing at Christmas and feel comfortable singing at Christmas. Which, as I've told some folks, is "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch." It's one of the few songs I feel is in my range that I can do. And also isn't, like, super, super stressful on me here. A24. That's both of these parts, all right. I don't have the music to go along with it at the moment, but one day I'll figure out how to do karaoke once I'm more confident in my singing voice, because I've done singing training. I've done voice training, which I'm sure nobody can tell that I've done any voice training before. But the singing side of things was always left kind of to the side. Let's see, B21. Oh, let's build this part first. A2, and everything. 24, so, yeah, alright. So, but, I was told quite often that my family has, terrible, tin ears, and so was discouraged generally from attempting to sing. And I won't try and claim that I'm a great singer, because I definitely don't feel like it. I could definitely use some more practice, but I have gotten some things down. Mostly by accident, to be fair. And I can do enough things with voices and voice work that I feel like I should be able to sing and should be able to pull it off reasonably well. The question then becomes how to do it reliably, how to do it in a way that is enjoyable for me and everybody else, because the impulse I always have when singing, especially when I'm singing along the songs, is to just belt that shit out loud and just not care about anything else other than having a good time. Which is fine. Like, I think everybody should do that. Like, regardless of whether or not you can actually feel that you can sing well, if you hear a song that you like, sing it loud, sing it frequently, and as often as you want. You don't have to do it in public with other people watching. You know, maybe you want to do it in private. Maybe you want to do it in a way where it's just, it's like how to put this? You're in your car or a car with someone that you trust or by yourself, and you just go to town. Everyone should be able and willing to just go ham. Because it's not about doing it well. That's the thing. Artistic expression. A lot of people go, "Oh, I gotta be better at it to do it." No, you don't. Do it poorly. Absolutely, do something poorly. If you're not good at it, that's okay. You can get better. And even if you don't get better, it's not the point. Sometimes you just want to sing to something because it makes you happy. You want to dance to something because it makes you happy. You don't have to be good at it to do it. Maybe you are good at it. Maybe you do something interesting, but that doesn't matter. You can just have fun. Just have fun with your life. Because I'll tell you what, it is way, way too much to just expect people to just only ever do things that they're good at, or do it for money or whatever. Like, you just let people have fun in their lives. Let people enjoy themselves. It's genuinely not hard to do. And I feel like it's something that a lot of people kind of forget about, that you can just do things like that without being super great at it. And yeah. Okay, so let's see here. So put this together. Press here to attach the part. Oh, okay. So, fit click. Wait a minute. Okay. So it's got to be the one that's like this. Ooh. Oh. Okay. Look at that. All right. Okay, so now C26. But like, and that's the thing. Like, sometimes you'll discover that you've got a talent that you didn't realize you had beforehand. Maybe you find out that you're actually very good at something that you would otherwise never have thought about. Oh, isn't that fancy? Now B26. And even if you're not, even if you're just never going to be good at it, just do it. It's fun. Like, I'll give you an example. I used to draw a lot. I actually took an animation course in college. It was rough, let me tell you. In part because my computer that I had that year died like 6 or 7 times. Just absolutely crashed. Total losses of hard drive stuff. And I was scanning images in for the final. And because I'm going to date myself here. This was before the era of, fully digital stuff. Now, I had like a tablet, like a drawing tablet. I still have it somewhere. But it's kind of, how best to put this, old. And I have one now. Let me pull this out so I can show it off to all of you. This is the one I've got now, and I kind of just use it for the sake of using it on occasion. Like, this is what I use. This is the one I used when Atlas had me on for like Gardic and Jackbox and whatnot. That's what I drew with. And again, hand comparison. Look at that. That thing is a pain in the ass for me to use. Oh, now the instructions are in color. Fancy, fancy, fancy. One I had before was bigger than this mat was, but it's old. And if I could get it to work, I don't think that you would really do that much. And like, I'll be honest, drawing hurts after a while. Like, I was legitimately in pain. So, like, especially after doing animation, where you're doing frame after frame after frame after frame. I did one time where the final, I had to rush, and I had to do it in like 2 days because I kept losing everything. because I was trying to do digital, because I had a nice computer and everything, but it kept dying. And so I went into the pit, the animation pit, and just worked 13 hours nonstop, something like that. Listened to the same friggin' CD on repeat for 13 hours until a security guard came by, scared the absolute living hell out of me, and like made me nearly have a heart attack of fear from just because I was so hyper focused in the zone that I didn't know anything else that was happening in that moment. And he just wanted to make sure I was okay and that I could, that he was locking up, and that the moment I left, the door would lock behind me. And yeah, and I studied animation for like a year, and then said, I'm good. Because it's genuinely, legitimately hard. And I am only so practiced at art, and I say practiced because I am decent at art. I'm now going to pull over, let's see here. Where did I put it? Where did I shove that thing? It's in here. I just have to find it. Is in here. I do know it's here. Where did I put it? Okay, it was in here. Did it fall when dogs and cats were playing together? Huh. Well, it was in here. I was going to show off the actual sketches that I did for Atlas for their last video. But they seem to have disappeared somewhere. I'm not quite certain where they got off to. They should be here. I remember them distinctly being here the other day. But perhaps when I was getting everything ready for the hand cam, they got moved. Let's see. Well, not important. Oh, never mind. There they are. So, here we go. This was all hand-drawn. I touched it up a little bit in Photoshop, or not Photoshop, in GIMP, because I can't pay for Photoshop. It's ridiculous. This one was honestly my favorite. Because I wanted to do the tuxedo mask. My work here is done. And then the rest of the meme, but I was like, it's almost funny if I just have Atlas spin around, get caught on the cape, and just all the little roses go flying out. And it didn't take me that long to do, because they are just genuinely quick sketches, because that's what Atlas was asking for. So, but, and so, but, if Atlas had asked for something like a little bit higher quality and, whatnot, I probably would have declined, because to put out work like that actually is a little painful for me. Sketches are okay, because I, make a little sketch, takes me a little bit of time, put it together, everything's fine. To go anything, yeah, okay, I'm going to get you tickets to the Louvre, all right? That's what I'm going to do, Atlas. I will get you tickets to the Louvre. That's what I'll do. I'm not doing anything else. Freaking Mona Lisa. And I'll tell you what, I'll get you the gacha character in some. I'm sure there's a character named Mona Lisa in some gacha game somewhere. I'll get you Da Vinci in Fate Grand Order or something. How about that? Let's see. But, oh, right. This, hmm? Why? Oh, okay. That. And now, in like this. There we go. But yeah, so like I've practiced art. I'm decent at it. I'm okay. And like I enjoy making sketches and putting things together, but my hands, so it's hard to see here, I guess. I don't know if you can really see it very well, but you see that tremor, the trembling there? I have what's called, I don't even remember what it's called anymore. But basically it's, my handwriting is crap, and I can make art, but it takes me longer and it's more tedious because, as you can see with my art style, I have a very sketchy style where I'm kind of just going like this. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to just like get my hand to like make the general shape I'm going for and then erase all the parts that are my hand losing control. And that's my artistic styling. And there's nothing wrong with that. But that's like the idea of making a smooth line in like one stroke. I would need computer assistance to do that. That is just the way that is. And, you know, there's nothing for it. Like, that's not a bad thing, but that's just, it's not something I am capable of, like, that I want to put up with. And so, as a result, I stopped doing a lot of art stuff. Not completely, but, like, I scaled it back and started doing other things instead. And I still engage in art on time because, like, I'll sketch something out. Like, I'll have an idea of like what I want to do for a thing. I'll like sketch out something, or I'll get a tool that helps me put something together, like the starship that I made, the overhaul. That is put together with I used Unreal, which is free, and the Greeble thing. There we go. There we go. Look at that. You got full range of motion, buddy. Better than me most days. All right. And that's... Oh, look at that. Beautiful. And that. Oh, look at that. You got leggies. But so yeah, it's again, one thing I'm saying, you have to be good at it to do it. So I still do it on occasion. I'm not super trained, but that's the thing. It's not about a lot of things. A lot of people go, "Oh yeah, you're talented. You're talented." Talent is really just the dedicate. Like I think anyway. I think talent is really just more the dedication to stick with something, even though you fucking hate it sometimes. Like you can't stand it, but you want to keep going regardless. That, I think, is what a lot of people mistake for talent, is the just absolute unwillingness to give up however much you hate something in that moment because you love it so much. And that's what drives people to do and create art. Because like, it's not like you should hate art. You shouldn't. But I think every artist has had a moment in their life where they've looked at something they've created and went, oh my God, this was hell. I hated every moment of making this, but it turned out great. And I learned things that I would do differently next time, and that I'm going to do differently this time and whatnot, because it comes down to, a lot of times, people are... Is that a printing error? Okay. But like, gotta keep going. And if going gets tough, some people are going to say that's just too much for me, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Exactly. It's a developed skill. And, there are some things, you win the genetic lottery for when it comes to certain things. But I can guarantee you, like, everybody who's, a supermodel, they're wearing makeup, they're having, Photoshop touch-ups after the shoot to make things look even more perfect or realistic. But, same with, like, my voice. I've had this voice for most of my life at this point. It's changed here and there over the time. But this is basically how I sound. And I can do some weird and wild things with my voice. And that's because I sit alone at times, like in my car or while going somewhere, while doing something, and I will make silly little noises to myself. I will have weird conversations in my head. And I'll talk back to myself and I'll practice going, hey, what do you think of this? I think it's terrible. Stuff like that. Like, obviously that's, a very brief example, but, the quick switching of the voices, finding different voices for different people. It's and one of the main ways I developed it over the years was running tabletop RPGs. I would run games, and I'd be the GM, and I would do all kinds of silly voices for things. Oh, I forgot a part here. And that stemmed from when I was a kid. My father would read me stories and try to give different characters different voices. I'm going to be honest. He wasn't very good at it. He wasn't. He made an attempt. He wasn't, like, awful. I didn't think he was, like, cringe or anything like that. But he was genuinely trying to get me to enjoy the stories more, right? By giving interesting, different voices to different characters. And that stuck with me. And because that stuck with me, I decided to make silly little voices myself. And so here we are. I'm now far better at it than he ever was, in my humble opinion. Oh, look at that. We have a little guy. This is now officially a full-on little guy, except I missed a step somewhere. Going back all the way to step 1, I forgot to give him his head fin. I'm sure Finn has been, like, waiting for me to get to that point. Oh, my goodness gracious. All right, here we go. Oh, God. Look at this. When I was a young boy, my father sat me at a table and did a silly voice. This is the part that's going to give me the most agitation right here. So A13, where's A13? What's A13? Okay, that's A13. So what's A18? Oh my God. Another part I thought was just a piece of flashing. All right, come on. Come on. Easy now. Easy. But yeah, and so, like, he would read to me The Hobbit, and he would try to give Gandalf an old man's voice. And he would try to give Bilbo something a little bit different. And Thorin Oakenshield would have a stronger, deeper voice. And these were all things he would try and do. And it stuck with me as a kid. I'm like, I can try and do that. And then it was also like, when I was a kid, I was told by adults that I was either too loud or too quiet in a given circumstance or instance. And, so I'm like, okay, I'm not aware of what I'm doing when I talk. If I become aware, what then? What can I do? if I'm paying attention, when I can make the decisions of what to do with my voice. And so that's what basically got me started down the road of doing funny voices, doing silly voices, and doing, Optimus Prime, kind of stuff. And I was always drawn to different actors, and wow, okay, these runners are almost all completely done. I really only have, I guess, the shield and the weapon left. All right, sweet. All right, let's build a blaster or two. But yeah, so like when I was a kid, we had Kevin Conroy as Batman, who did a great Bruce Wayne to Batman transition, which virtually no other Batman has ever really done very well. Because like you get the Batman voice, the silly Batman voice that is done like Batman Brave and the Bold or Harley Quinn. And you've got Where's Rachel? Batman voice that was done in like those movies. And so what's the deal there? But then there's Bruce Wayne. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, okay. Whereas, hi, I'm Bruce Wayne. And I'm Batman. I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman. And then you had, of course, Mark Hamill as the Joker, who was fantastic, Just absolutely delightful. Because, of course, I was a Star Wars kid. I love Star Wars. And so Mark Hamill as the Joker blew my mind as a kid. Like, that's Luke Skywalker? And if I prep myself, I can do a decent Joker impression. But doing it flat out really hurts. So I'm not going to bother. But yeah. So, but it's like... It's just something that I've constantly been doing. And like, is it a saleable skill? Yeah, to a certain degree. Is it hard to get into that industry? Yes, it is. So mostly what I would do is just little fun things. Do mods. People need voice work for mods and whatnot for video games. Back when the modding scene was different. I don't want to say more than it is now because honestly, mod scene today is wild. Comparative to how it was back when. Like, I'm still seeing things being done with, like, Bethesda games that is just unbelievable. People are basically creating their own games. Oh, yeah, I mean, if anyone here wants me to do voice stuff for them for, like, a lore video or something, I'm more than happy to do that. I love doing stuff like that. I've done work for some YouTube channels in the past. I've done work for some Kickstarters, whatnot. So yeah, oh, look at that. Fancy Lad Blaster. Is it gonna fit? Is it gonna fit? It fits. All right. Okay, so this is... Oh my goodness, I'm almost done. It's only been... Okay, so it's only been 2 hours. I was actually expecting it to take maybe 3. So we might switch to just chatting after I'm done. Just keep the stream up and go from there for a little bit. But, oh goodness gracious me. This goes... Is it? Let me take a closer look at this. Oh. Guess that joint wasn't fully in. Alright, look at that. Look at this little guy. All these bits are done. Transfer them over like that. I might even try putting on the sticker, but I'm going to have to give myself a second for my hands to calm down a little. But... yeah, all right, look at that. Did the whole thing on stream. It looks good. That's a lot of detail in here. But yeah, like I said, it's but I've always liked doing stuff with my voice, and the joke always goes, you know, I have a face for radio. That's not true. But I like the tuber stuff because even though I'm like showing my hands off here, um, it's, you know, honestly, I like the level of separation of detail of there's this funny little guy over here, and then there's me. And when I turn the stream off, I'm me. Not that I'm being, you know, super putting on a character here, but I am entering into essentially like work mode, if that makes sense, when I'm on the stream. Even though right now, because of everything, I'm making a lot of noises in between the ums and ahs and whatnot, because it's harder to do keeping that under control than a lot of people think. But it's easier to do when you're in a particular mindset. When I'm putting something together, and most of my brain power is how make bits fit right? It's a little harder to put everything. Yes, okay, I get it. Thank you, Amaro. Let's see here. Take the shield off and the gun away for a second. Let's see how much we can. Let's see. I'm trying to think of like. I love the baby girl stances that Fen gives their Gunplas here, because I'm now struggling to think of like what to do for that. Let's see here. Ah, arms are coming out real easy. There we go. How's that? Just dreaming about Char Aznable. Ooh, cat hands. Okay, yeah, let's try that. Let's see here. What am I gonna do? Like the level of like motion here is more than I would expect out of like most toys, but like there's still some limitations that are like. Oh yeah, no, definitely. I'll take some additional pictures. Let's see here. That's a decent meow, right? There we go. Get a little. Oh, there we go. Yeah, okay. There we go. Let's see if I can get a picture going on that one right here. Oops. All right. See if we can get another one of the dreaming of Char moment here. Oh, there. I overestimate how much movement that little wrist joint has. There. Ooh, yeah. Let's see if I can. That's horrifying. Oh, God. Alright, let's see this one. Oh boy, oh boy. We are having way too much fun with this nonsense. And, oh wait, oh no. Oh God. I have the butt stuck out. Look at that. In the name of the moon, I punish you. Oh my goodness gracious. No, that's gonna impact some stuff there. Alright, let's see. Suppose I should take at least one serious shot here. Give that gun back. Snap that shield on. Let's chest back up here. Can I do this? Is this gonna work? Might not have enough play on the back angle here. Or maybe if I do it like this. Oh yeah, that's a nice pose right there. All right. Now we do the fun part. Get the sharp objects out. Oh boy. I feel like a straight edge would be useful here. Do I have one I can trust? Let's see here. Not in line of sight. I'll have to make a note of that for later. Oh, you know what? This will probably do reasonably well. Everyone says, why don't you just use the scissors in the first place? I don't know. I like to make things harder for myself. Shut up. Basically, yeah, it might as well be surgery on a grape. That was a close shave right there. Alright. Gotta give myself a little bit of play space here for peeling this stupid thing back. Enough? And just barely. It'll have to do. Nope, that wasn't a good start. Try that again. Alright. And now, should just be able to go like this, and boom. There we have it. And they had to go and put that one inside of that, didn't they? Let it not be said, Atlas, that I do not improvise ridiculously. Making do with what I've got is a lot of what I do. Just in general. Like, there is the right way, the proper way. I'm sure that someone will look at this video at some point and go, why didn't you just use a ruler or something? Well, you know, I didn't have one on hand. But I had to go get one. Maybe at a shop. Maybe at another spot in the house. I don't know. I might have a ruler worth putting that into. But I don't currently. A little bit beyond. I'm just going to make it easy on myself to do that. Okay. Next little bit. Right to there. And that should take out most of the rest of it. And then, just like that. All right. That is done. I'm not going to put this away just yet because I might need it in a second. But there we go. Images of my phone. I mean, if anything, you only should have been able to see a couple of photos of either the animals or the robot here. Or were you talking about Kai's phone? I'm confused. Oh, okay, okay. I was worried for a second. I was like, I had my phone out. I was taking pictures, but the only pictures that would be able to be seen on that phone are like Gremlin, Potato, Stormcloud, and now this funny little fella. Okay. I was like, wait a minute. I didn't send anything. What's going on here? All right, so let's go back and pull out the instructions here, because I'm sure they'll give me some kind of instructions for these little stickers. All right, so, all right. This one is to go on the shield. I'm going to do the big one first. Because shockingly, it's going to be the one that's the least trouble for me. How am I... And here's where I have a problem. This is why I didn't put the X-Acto blade away. Because my hands and this sticker are not tremendously compatible. I'm going to try and use the blunt end of this. See if I can't get some play. If I need to go to the sharp end, then I need to go to the sharp end. Alright, let's see here. Be very careful here, because you really got to be careful about pointing the sharp end of these blades towards yourself. Yeah, that's going to be something I need to get. Because, like, I've got tweezers of varying styles and sizes. But I don't have a good set of really small, fine-tooth tweezers. Let me see if I've got one over here. Probably not. I think so. Best I got is an old pair of wire clippers at the moment, but that might actually do the trick. What? Nightbot. Buddy. It's right here. I'm looking at it. So, I have a couple of custom things that are supposed to come up every so often after so many intervals of lines, and one of them is the mention of the anonymous follows, where if you follow, it doesn't, it tells me that a new follower has showed up, but it doesn't call anybody out by name, so people can just show up. So the idea is to have that put into chat every so often, so that people know that there's anonymous follows on, so that if they're just there to chill, they can be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll follow if I like this content, and, because I like lurkers. I'm a lurker myself. My channel point totals in most of your channels should indicate that I like to lurk a lot, all right? But I understand the anxiety of not wanting to get called out. And so I wanted to have a message in there, and Nightbot is just being kind of obnoxious right now because it's right in there. I don't know why it's being the way it is. Because there's one warning in there saying, hey, I may miss your chat because I'm an old man, I'm still getting used to this, blah, blah, blah. The other one is, hey, we have anonymous follows here. And that was my phone. We have anonymous follows here. So if you want to follow, you can feel free without it having to be a big deal. A huge effort. But Nightbot is just bound to misbehave today, it would seem. Come on, you little... Yeah, Fen, if you can do that, I'll definitely take it, because Nightbot, Nightbot's got some utility here, but I want you all to just recognize that I cut these out while there was still protective plastic on the stupid blade. Sewing needle, I'll have to check with my partner, because they're the ones that do sewing. See if there's one I can borrow. But if I can't figure this out in the next few minutes, I'm probably just going to put it off to the side. But let's see if that has changed things. Being very gentle here. Oh. Did I get some give finally? I got some give. Is it the right kind of give? It is. All right, here we go. Cat hair on the sticker. How did I do that? I got the X-Acto blade between the sticker and the paper. I bent the sticker and the paper just a little bit, got a little bit of give. Gotta know what Morton's toothbrush looks like. I don't know what the... I don't know how to respond to that. What does my toothbrush look like? Go. Just that little bit of give. A little bit of an oopsie doodle, which I'm going to use this to get rid of. Yikes. Oh! Well, apparently they were perforated. Oh yeah, no. That's fair. I'm gonna need a moment because I just did a thing where I didn't know that these were perforated stickers. Okay, Stormcloud, not right now, baby girl. Thank you. I know. Okay, come on. All right, here we go. Angle on this is going to be off, I'm certain. All right, let me get rid of this real quick. All right, here we go. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Now I'm going to do a thing here because I didn't know this was a perforated sticker. So I'm now going to take off all the edge parts here on the little unicorn that I thought I had to just leave there. And do a little bit of scraping to get this tiny little piece off. I'm just going to leave that as is. That's fine. I'm going to put this away so it doesn't become a hazard. Okay, if I had known they were perforated, Shriana Grape for real. Yeah, my hands shake a little, but I can use that to my advantage sometimes. It's about knowing what you're capable of. And having, again, that determination to stick through it even when things are really kind of not in your favor. I mentioned earlier that prior to all of this many, many years ago, I actually made and painted and built Warhammer 40k miniatures and played Warhammer 40k. Oh, look at that. Yeah, okay. Looks pretty sick, honestly. So yeah, I am going to leave that there for a moment. I'm going to go mute. I'm going to go AFK for a second. But I'm going to leave this up instead of going to the AFK screen, just so everybody can see what it is I have done. So I will be right back. I'm going to show off some of my other minis. So see you in just a moment. My apologies there. But, so, I do love the fact that Viatotube gave me away when I was muted, because it runs on a different sensors. So this is a 40k miniature. And you can see just how small it is. And, like, I'm not even a super high level of detail painter when I was putting these things together. But I got some nice detail going on this thing. Like, you can see, like, the higher bits are painted in kind of a metallic purple, whereas the baseline bit is kind of a green. And there's a bit of crud all over. I even got his teeth. But, like, these are absolutely minuscule. And, like, one of the parts I was really proud of is these wings that go on his back. Let's see here. If I can get them. I know you can focus on it. Here we go. And, like, you should be able to see, like, the very small definitions of metallic color as opposed to the baseline color of the wings. So that's, like, one example. And you can see just how small this dude is compared to an entry-grade Gundam. So this is just a minis case I have of a whole bunch of old minis that I put together. And like one of these ones that I was really proud of was this guy right here. Because I had like the green, like the miniature terrain, like grass sand thing that you have on these, that you sometimes put on these minis on the base to make it look like they're standing on a field. And again, you can see like my paint job isn't great, but you can see I like got thing details like this part here is a separate color, and that part there is a separate color, and like it's really hard to do with these minis. These are like millimeters. You know, this guy was a yeah. You got my joke there, Kai. I did. He is the man, the second gunman on the grassy knoll. That was an assassin character. 40K has a lot of interesting characters in it. Let's see if I can find one of my old favorites. If I can find something that wasn't 40K that I can show. That's a lot of old stuff. Oh no, it is only 40K in here. Oh, here's one. Here's two actually that are a little more interesting. I have another case somewhere with a bunch of other stuff that's not all 40K. And I have one thing in here that's not 40K, but it's a little busted. So, where did the arm go on that one? Who knows? Alright. So here's one that's not 40K. And this was never finished, but, you know, it's the one 40K model I've gotten here that isn't in there. And you can tell it's a little robot guy. And this one is from a game called Heavy Gear, which I adore on a number of levels. And it was heavily influenced by Armored Troopers Votoms. It's another one where I put like these are little pieces of styrofoam that I painted green so they would look like bushes. And the detail, like the gem in that gun, and like bits of silver on the for the hair ties and whatnot. You can see parts where like the age has started causing some of the paint to flake away. And a similarly posed character. This was from one of the 40K sub games, like the first one was, called Necromunda, which actually is like a PC game now. And you can see like my painting, not the greatest in the world, but it was solid. I got details. I didn't get a lot of facial details in on this one because like the faces are the hardest fucking thing. It's like, look at this. You can focus. I know you can. Look at that. Look how tiny that is. Imagine trying to draw eyes and teeth on something that small. But people do regularly. It is wild what like 40K painters and modelers get up to. Like my stuff, this was when I was, you know, young, because this is all 40K and whatnot. And like, yeah, this is like hands broken off, you can see. But like this was a custom model that I did for like a very custom mini. But like, it's just the amount of detail that you need. You need tiny, tiny little brushes that have like 4 hairs on them to get the level of detail needed to paint those tiny little bits. It's completely absurd. And imagine, you know, sitting for like hours painting one mini and then doing another and another and having to have hundreds. Oh, here was actually a finished one from Heavy Gear that I didn't pull out. Here we go. This was a finished one. Again, have sand on there. But yeah, it's brutal, right? Like you gotta just tons of detail. You gotta have your hands be super, super steady, and just over and over again, especially if you're doing 40k, because like some of the armies get really, really big. Like if you're playing orcs or Tyranids or Imperial Guard, you're looking at dozens upon dozens of models for a single army. It's absurd. There's so much to have to do. And then it can take you years, absolute years, to put together an army that's not like the standard Space Marines or Chaos Space Marines or whatever. And by the time you're done with your army, and you've got everything set up, and it's custom and ready to go, they change the rules on you. That's what always killed me when I was back playing, like, in the day, was that it would take forever to put something together, and then the rules would change, and they would make it so the whatever customizations you put in now were worthless. Not always, but generally. And I got to a point where I put together enough money to make my ideal army for the current rules. I got all the bits and bobs. I got all the spare parts. I got everything together. And a month after I got everything ordered and came to me, I couldn't cancel it anymore. I couldn't refund it. They changed the rules. And I had a fit. I was done. I was so mad. I could not, for the life of me, get back my love for the game. Like, I love the setting. I love a lot of things about it. I cannot play the miniatures game anymore. And yeah, to Zero, for reference, my army was the Imperial Guard, aka the Astra Militarum. But I always know them as the Imperial Guard because that's what they were. The Astra Militarum thing is a recent endeavor because Games Workshop, in their infinite wisdom, decided to try and copyright, of all things, the words Space Marine. That did not go well for them. Because how can you copyright a term that has been used for decades in science fiction when you are kind of Johnny-come-lately to the whole thing? And so now they call them the Adeptus Astartes and the Imperial Guard, which again, common term, not very copyrightable, are now the Astra Militarum. And they use all the fancy names because those are distinct. Those are legally distinct. They're copyrightable. If I say Astra Militarum and I am creating a sci-fi universe, Games Workshop can, rightly so, come to me and say, hey, you can't use that term. Even though it's really just kind of bad Latin, right? It's the star military. The military of the stars. But they copyrighted it. They trademarked it. So, okay. Because they couldn't trademark the other generic things they were using, they used one that's like slightly less generic. You have to know a little bit of Latin to know that their Latin is bad. But you can get there. But yeah, so I for a while went and did nothing as far as like tabletop wargaming, because I like tabletop getting together and doing like tabletop gaming with people, whether it's board games, tabletop RPGs, or wargaming, is or can be fun as long as you find a good group of people to do it with. And I have to stress that point because wargaming is rife with people who make the entire hobby inaccessible and unpalatable to everyone else in it. That has changed a little bit over the years. But boy howdy, can I tell you, it is rough going into a gaming convention and seeing the, it's like you'll have card games, board games, you'll have tabletop RPGs, you'll have LARPs, you'll have all these other kind of games that are happening. And then in like a corner you'll have wargaming. And if you like walk in there and you don't look like you should be there, everyone kind of gives you this side eye, and depending on how you're presenting yourself, oh boy, is that an uncomfortable situation, because... And so a bunch of that changed when, if you know wargaming, you might know X-Wing. The X-Wing tabletop game, which was a lot of fun, where the minis came pre-painted, and you could literally just open a miniature up and in 5 minutes use it in a game. That was how simple it was to get into. The barrier for entry was so low, just so absolutely low, that Han was in it. But the point is that that game brought a lot of new people and new blood into the wargaming space. And I had tons of fun playing with people and introducing them to the game and all that kind of stuff. And then things happened to Fantasy Flight that made it so that X-Wing just kind of fell off, as did the big ship combat game called Armada. But and Games Workshop, I mean, they're making an effort now, which I appreciate, because there was a period of time, like, if you know Warhammer 40k, you know that it is grim, it is dark, it is in the future, and there is a lot of war. And there are no good guys. I want to be very clear. There are no good guys in 40k. Everyone is a jerk in some way, shape, or form. That's the point. The entire game, back when it was like Rogue Trader and all the other stuff, was very tongue-in-cheek. Was very, like, if you read the original, like, Judge Dredd comics, very kind of British sarcastic humor. There's art of Space Marines, like arresting two guys for, like, doing graffiti on a busted down wall, right? They were supposed to be jackbooted thugs. They were supposed to be kind of laughed at them a bit. It was all supposed to be kind of a big joke, and then it took itself a little too seriously. And some people didn't get the joke, and some people didn't get the memo that these aren't the good guys, that it's not a good thing. And my favorite thing that's happened out of the entire, like, meta plot and all that, well, maybe, I don't know, but usually something's wrong with everybody in 40k. But, like, in the meta plot, they brought back what's called one of the Primarchs, and all you really need to know is that they're basically demigods in terms of the 40k universe. And in the Imperium of Man, which is, you know, humanity, and thus often seen as the good guys, even though they are absolutely not, this guy who was the son of the Emperor looks around, sees everything that the Empire has become, and goes, "What the hell did you do? How did you screw this up this badly? We'd left written instructions for what to do. How did you screw up this badly?" And goes onto a rant of how all this horrific stuff that the Imperium of Man has done, all these things that everyone's going like, oh, it's necessary because of how grim dark the universe is, were not necessary at all, and were just cruelty and horrible. That moment where one of the, like, supposed to be greatest voices in the Imperium of Man, like one of the demigods, one of the founding fathers, looked at them and went, holy shit, you screwed this up so badly. You gave this, you gave this ape anxiety, kind of thing. Like, it was, you really just made a mistake. It's all wrong, and now I have to fix it. And that was a major turning point, because it was a direct rebuke to the fans who were like, the Emperor is the greatest thing ever, and I would be, a loyal servant of the Emperor and the Imperium. Like, no one should want to be a loyal servant of the Emperor in the Imperium of Man. That's the joke. That's the point. It's all supposed to be horrible. It's all supposed to be, oh yeah, here's these guys. Like, the only army that, like, I can look at and go, somebody's just having fun the entire time, are the orcs. Because the orcs are just like, they're soccer hooligans. They're soccer hooligans writ large in a galaxy where They just want to fight. All they want to have is a good fight. And if they're in a good fight, they love it. They're just down to go and just go, oh, we're gonna get stuck in here. Oh, it'll hurt a lot, but you'll be better, you'll see. Whoa. And they're just silly little guys. They're silly little guys that just want to have a fight. And they're happy for it. And they're awful. Like, they kill people. Like, you take one step back and you go, oh, this is horrifying. But most orc players get the joke. They know they're there to have fun and be silly and ridiculous and throw little Gretchen through the warp to explode inside of somebody's tank and be a weapon. Like, their entire technology works because they believe it is going to work. It works because this gun shoots because I believe it's going to shoot. That's what guns do. This car, it goes faster. Why? I painted it red, and red ones go faster. That's just physics. Yeah, exactly. They go through the warp, which is in 40K, a giant hell dimension that you normally need shielding to go through. They go through it just by saying, hey, we're going to go to this next fight. How are we going to get there? Everybody start chanting. Everybody start chanting and go, here we go through the cosmos. Here we go to infinity. Here we go, don't know where we're going. And then they go there to wherever fight it is they're going to go to. And that's the magic of orcs. I love them. Like, they're the perfect enemy because you never feel bad for fighting them because they love the fight that they're in, right? But also, they're just happy to be there. They're just happy to be involved. Like, you're having a fight? Hey, thanks for showing up. Thanks for fighting me. Oh, you killed this guy that we wanted to kill? Well, now we're going to go fight you because clearly you're now the strongest person in this arena. Like, it's just, the whole thing is just very silly. And most of the players got the memo that they are supposed to be the silliest little guys. And win, lose, or draw, they're there to cause chaos. I adore them just for that reason. Whereas, like, Tau players, for a while, were like, oh, we're the good guys. And, like, I don't have anything against anybody who picks any particular, like, army. Tau players often are anime fans because all the stuff looks like anime stuff. Perfectly fine. I get it 100%. Rock on. But they're not the good guys. The Imperium Band aren't the good guys. Maybe the Leagues of Votann aren't, bad guys or that bad or whatever. But, like, it's a question of, like, are you that bad? Or are you... Oh, God. Hold on. I need a drink. Okay. So I would have to do research to do a brain rot bunch on 40K because there's just so much that goes into that thing. But yes, we can talk about the BDSM elves. So, way back in the day, the space elves, the Eldar, were, okay, Atlas, buckle up. Here we go. I'm gonna move this little guy off to the side so I can talk with my hands and so you can all see just how I'm gonna be going through it right now. Okay, so back in the days of yore, there were various chaos gods. You had Nurgle, Papa Nurgle, god of disease and life. He's a jolly old fellow, and he wants people to change, to live, and to be happy. But to also, not really, okay, he doesn't really want people to change. He wants people to be diseased. He wants them to be sick, but also happy, because life is pain. And he can take that pain away, so you're happier. You have Khorne, god of war and destruction and rage and battle. Who just, he's, again, there for kind of a good fight, but, if you're an honorable warrior, you might end up worshiping Khorne because he's all there about the good honorable fights. And all these gods have, like positive sides. They're taken to, like, extremes because chaos. You have Tzeentch, or Znich. You know what? I've heard it pronounced like 18 different ways. I always say Znich or Snitch. The Lord of Change, Keeper of Secrets. If you go delving too far into the internet, you might find Snitch with all kinds of forbidden and interesting information, tantalizing data. But I just mentioned the internet, but I didn't mention anybody who was doing sexy fun times. So, the Eldar, once upon a time, were so debauched, so raunchy. They held a bender that was so huge across their entire species. They had a party where they said, okay, everybody come. That was it. Those were the instructions. And so everybody did, except for some prudes who hid away somewhere else and just said, la, 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 we don't want to hear this noise. And they were so raunchy, and everybody followed the instructions. Yep. You asked me. No, sorry, you didn't ask me. Zero asked me to explain this. Everybody came, and then was born Slaanesh, the chaos god of debauchery, sex, bondage, and all that kind of stuff. And basically killed all of the gods the Eldar had. Just gobbled them up. And there was a bunch of Eldar who were, like, doing the really dirty stuff, and they were like, oh shit, we might have fucked up. And they went and hid someplace else. So you got the prudes over on one side, and you got the people who were doing the really kinky shit on the other. And they're the only two who survive. And so the people who were doing the really kinky stuff, they basically, I don't remember the exact interaction they have, but they're basically trying to ward off Slaanesh, because otherwise Slaanesh will take all their souls, and they don't want that. So they do horrific acts to other people as a way of kind of saying, like, hey, look, here's our bounty of what we are offering you. Please don't eat our souls yet. We beg of you. And Slaanesh is like, okay, but we got some compound interest on this debt that you owe, so you need to get working harder. There's no actual direct communication there, but the idea being that they keep having to push the limit further and further. And so those are the Druthari, those are the Dark Eldar, the bad ones, where there, I swear to you this is true, actual models where they took, so there's an entire army in 40K that's just, it's all women, called the Sisters of Battle. They're battle nuns. Okay, cool. There is a model, or was a model, I don't know if it's still around, where there's like a Dark Eldar slaver lord, and he's got like two Sisters of Battle in like Princess Leia slave bikinis chained to the deck of his ship. That was an actual model you could purchase in a family-friendly gaming store for years, and still might be available. I don't know. So that's a thing that happened. But yes, that is actual 40K lore. There is worse 40K lore. I try to avoid it because there are people who I like to call pizza cutters. They're all edge and no point. I don't mind diving into heavy topics or serious topics from time to time. But there's some people who are just like, I do this really, really disgusting thing. And I'm like, okay, calm down there, buddy. Chill, relax, take a deep breath, and go away. Because it's not welcome most of the place. Because it's just like, it's gross. And yes, we know people do horrible things. One of the reasons we play games like this is to either, like, get rid of the bad people, right? Or just as, like, a little bit of silly fun. Because, like, we all play video games and do the things we're not supposed to do in the video games. Horrific things. Like, things that if we did in real life, we would go to jail for. But they're video games. They're not real. It's okay to be silly. It's okay to be ridiculous. It's okay to do things you would never do in real life. You know, I know someone who was like, they're playing Baldur's Gate 3 and one of the characters accidentally killed the puppy that's in the camp. And they're like, that person is dead to me forever because they killed the puppy. And like, I understand where they're coming from on this. But like, if that was real life, we'd have to have a conversation. You can't just kill someone because they accidentally, like, the puppy wandered by their cloud of death and died. And the person didn't actually like set out to do anything wrong. Like, you wouldn't do that. But it's a video game. So you can be a little silly. You can take things to extremes. And in a video games, you know, going and like joining a particular faction, like the Brotherhood of Steel or something in Fallout, like that might be something you want to do. And in reality, you would never actually do it. But you like these characters, you like that storyline or whatever. Jesus, God, Devin, she does this real stinky. God, potato. Potato, it's the worst. He'll sneak into a room and just, I won't notice that he's there because I've got my headphones on. And then suddenly I smell it. The fart of doom. No, not the thought of doom. The fart of doom. Captions. Come on. There we go. But yeah. Oh, yeah. No, the awful, awful silent farts. Oh. But yeah, and it's just like, you know, you can do things in video games you would never do in, like, there's a game I like to play on occasion called Stellaris, and Stellaris is what's called a 4X game, or a grand strategy game, where you're playing a space empire and you're out to, you know, win the game by whatever means. And you can do horrific things in that game, or you can play as a pacifist. It's your choice. But people will commonly do things that are horrible, like play a hyper-capitalistic empire that, you know, has tons of crime, because it's funny, it's silly, it's a game. It's, you know, I remember playing the Dune board game, and you like can play as House Harkonnen, and they're awful, they're terrible, but they're fun in the game. Like, it's a game. You can do silly things. And it's why, like, when I run games that are like TTRPGs, I like running Star Wars a lot, because who are the bad guys? The Empire. They're very clearly bad guys. There's no questions there. Like, there might be individuals in the Empire who are like, you know, sympathetic, and like maybe they'll, you know, defect to the rebellion, and that can be a fun story point. But otherwise, it's the Empire. They're really clearly bad guys. They blew up a whole planet for like no reason. They're bad. You want to get rid of them. And getting rid of them sometimes can be fun. But at the same time, not everybody wants to have a game where the conflict is, you know, good versus evil, or good guy versus bad guy, or whatever. They want to have a game where there's more subtlety and nuance, or maybe where no one's good. You know, you can have those games as long as you can trust the people around you. I ran a game of Mage not too long ago, and Mage is a game that is by the same company that does Vampire the Masquerade, and Mage is so every White Wolf game has like some kind of meta plot thing that they're on about. So like Vampire is about personal horror, right? It's what would you do to survive if you were a monster. Werewolf is about how to deal with rage and what happens if your rage gets the best of you. You know, if you can't control your anger, what then occurs? Mage, it's about hubris. You have phenomenal cosmic power, but the cosmos bites back. You can do whatever you want to do in Mage to a certain point, but the risk is the universe is going to tell you, no, there's a price for that. And there's like bad guys in all these settings, and like you'd think, oh, bad guys and vampires, you're playing the bad guys. Well, they make worse bad guys, don't worry. And in Mage, the bad guys are called, I think Nefandi is what the overall term is. And they're just the worst. And they put a book out about the Nefandi, and they're like, can you play as the bad guys? And they're like, okay, listen, here's the deal. You can, but should you? And then they listed all these like tools for like, if you're going to do this, and we recommend that you don't, but if you're going to do this, here's how you be safe in that group, in that story, because it can very lead to uncomfortable subjects and topics that not everyone is going to like. And you need to be able to put a stop to it so that everybody can feel comfortable at the table. And like, that's just generally true in tabletop games, because like someone can have like a really great idea, like I want to play this character, I want to do this thing, and then not check with anybody else that they're going to do that stuff, and it becomes a problem. Because if you've got a character who's, you know, secretly not who they say they are, maybe out of character at least one person knows, or maybe in character one person knows, and out of character everybody knows, but everybody kind of agrees to just roll along with it until a certain point, right? That way it doesn't feel like you just sprung it on somebody out of nowhere. The point being is you got to communicate with people when you do these games, because they're collaborative efforts. And I've always tried to, as a GM, like break down that idea of it's GM versus players, because that's a big one that's from a lot of older D&D groups, where the DMs would create these ridiculously death trappy dungeons or ridiculously hard fights, and the players would have to, like, you know, tooth and nail fight against that, when it seems like the dungeon master's only ever trying to kill them. And so that mentality stuck around for a long time, and people started being like, well, okay, how do we move past that? Because this really should be about, yeah, it's I'm of the opinion that we are telling a collaborative story, that I am creating the world and a lot of the background characters, and then the players are figuring out what they're going to do inside of that. And I can provide points of motivation to move them along a certain path, depending on the kind of game in question, or I can just let them kind of do what they want to do. But like, I will sometimes come up with like, here's a challenge, here's what resources you have, figure out how you're going to deal with it. I can give you some ideas, but what you decide to do is going to be ultimately between everybody in the group. You want to get silly? Get silly. I will be silly up to a certain point. And part of that silliness is like, what silliness will the group accept? And some games are more rules focused, and some games are more story focused, and that both are great. Like, I adore story focused games, and I adore rules focused games. I've got one that I love called Lancer. That's a rules focused game where you have giant robots, and a lot of the game is kind of like a tactical game where you're like positioning your robots and using your special abilities and trying to coordinate with your group. And for the fighting stuff, that's great. But outside the fighting stuff, total improv stuff. And yeah, improv is great. And I think like for all the like joking everyone does about improv groups and like, you know, give me a prompt that doesn't end with R or something, I don't know. There is a serious need for people to study improv or just practice improv in a lot of respects, because learning how to improv means that you can just on a dime flip a switch and you're going. And I've had groups that are just very serious where I still use that, and I have groups that are very silly that will like yes and me into oblivion. Like, I will die laughing. I had one group I was running a heavy gear game for where they were like trying to like hide weapons in one of the characters' wheelchairs, or like in their wheelchair, for like a secret meeting with like crime bosses and whatnot. And they ended up strapping a gun to a giant lizard's head that was like a pet of one of the party members, and they spent like 20 minutes out of game trying to get the gun off the lizard's head, and it accidentally shot someone in the butt. Like, that was like half an hour to an hour of just like absolute ridiculous nonsense that just happened in the game because they wanted to do a thing. And that was great. I love that stuff. I also love it when, you know, just really dramatic moments happen and people, but you also have to be careful, because like, so when dramatic moments happen, some people will have what's called emotional, well, what I call sometimes emotional bleed. And the distinction between the player and the character becomes a little hard to fathom, because we always put a piece of ourselves in our characters, wherever we are, whatever we're doing. And so something that hurts our characters can sometimes feel like it hurts us. And that is fine so long as you recognize it and don't take it personally. Because if a GM, rolls a d20, gets a 20, and crits your character and kills your character in D&D, right? Your GM was not trying to kill you, most likely. But you can feel like it was unfair, it was bullshit, but it's a bad crit. Things happen. Nobody is going to really want to end the game unless they're not on the same page as everybody else. And learning to set up that, have those discussions with your GM and your players, where it may be like, check in. You're feeling kind of rough the other day, wanted to check in with you, that kind of stuff. It's super important. Also, I will tell you this as a GM, GMs will love it if you as the player check in with the GM every so often and say things like, hey, I really love this thing you did. And players, for GMs, players love to hear that too. If you really loved something that a player did in one of your games, tell them. And vice versa. Because I can tell you right now, oh, kitty cat. I can tell you right now, everybody is anxious. Everybody wants to have fun. And unless you communicate, it's hard to tell if everybody is having fun or not. Yes, thank you, Stormcloud. I got Gremlin on my leg. Like, please, I love you. Please. Come here. Let me play with you. All right, come here. Stormcloud. Here. Come here. Oh, look at this baby. Yeah, aw. I'll scratch you too, Gremlin. Yes. Aw. But yeah, so there's my little rant about TTRPGs, because I adore TTRPGs. Because, like, don't be wrong, I have had bad feelings about certain games, but I've had more bad feelings about players and GMs or DMs than I have ever had about a specific game, with like 3 exceptions. Games themselves can be fun if you've got a good group of people and everybody's gelling and everyone's having a good time. And, sometimes you gotta just sit back, talk things out, and have good communication, just like every other part of life. Look at this. Look at this. Look how much Stormcloud y'all are getting now. Yeah. Oh, little baby. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at you. Look at you. Oh, yeah. And, like, certain games are more amenable to yes-anded improv stuff. And other games are not. Like, some games are built for it. Like, the more story-focused games, or the more, whatchamacallit, like, comedy-focused games. But you can really do that with any game as long as you are able to keep things kind of rolling. But you got to find the right group. You got to find the right group. You got to find the right GM, and you got to find the right players. And that's the hard part. Finding the right people who are available at the right times, at the right, and want to play the same kind of stuff. Because, like, I have literal bookshelves full of TTRPGs, like, literally full. But yeah, it's and how you do that is entirely up to you. Like, some people I know just love playing, like, actually RPing in, like, MMOs, because, like, you can have the moments where they sit around as their characters and they can just role play and just sit there, and that's wonderful. And but again, you gotta get a group of people that gels and has similar like whatnot, and yeah, all beans and a little notch in her ear. She is a baby. You can see like the little speckles of white she's got on her back here, just tiny little little star points. That's why she's a navigator. Yeah, your uncle baby. Yeah, we don't know how old she actually is. She was a feral, so we think she was maybe 3 when we got her. Yeah, so again, and it's so hard finding a good group. It really is, because the scheduling thing is a problem. Like, I have a group that we meet, once a week, and we try to. I have another group where we meet like every other week. We're trying to, and it's, especially as you get within a certain age range, it's really hard to organize. Like, okay, we're gonna sit still for 4 to 6 hours for 1 day a week, or every 2 weeks, or whatever, and play this game. And it's difficult to schedule that. It really is. And everyone has their own things that they want to do, and they don't always check with everybody else to see if everyone else is on the same page. But if you can find a group and you stick with it, it's a lot of fun. But it is a big effort to be able to set that up. And yeah, super mini campaigns, like, there's a lot of like, oh, no, don't bite the beam saber, madam. No, leave that alone. That is not a toy for you. Yeah, so because of my health problems, I have trouble getting around and doing things. So I actually did play by net stuff, play over the internet stuff, using virtual tabletops like Roll20, constantly for a long time. I had a group that met for like over a decade. Get off the mouse, madam. You do not need to be sitting on the mouse pad. And so, like, yeah, it was every single, like, we would have like 2 to 3 games a week sometimes, if we could do it, like different people running it. And it was wild. It was a lot of fun, but it is Herculean to get a group together, even with the internet tools that we have now. Because, like, you can have a game where, like, everybody's in Discord, and you can even, like, roll dice in Discord, or roll dice in another thing, and it's easily done. And you can have these ornate virtual tabletops that have, like, lighting and, like, windows and doors that you can create for the dungeons and for whatnot. And it is... you've got sites like Hero Forge where you can, like, make your character and make them look however you want, and then even actually make that into an actual miniature that you can have that even can come pre-painted if you so choose. If you, like, meet up in person. Oh, I love Hero Forge. They explicitly have language that if your, like, virtual game is not making money, then you can use their stuff basically for free. And if it is making money, just contact them and they'll set something up. But, like, yeah, it's, and like, I have so, like, I'm the kind of person who, like, I want to find, like, a game that does mechanics, like, really well. Because, like, I was back in the days of, like, AD&D and 3rd edition D&D, where, like, the rules were, like, if you know the word Thaco, you know the horrors that I faced. But, like, things, the rules are easier or more fun, or promote interesting kinds of play. And it was a whole thing to find new systems. And, like, one of the systems I found was this funny little system called Cyberpunk 2020, which was a cyberpunk system that no one has ever heard of today, is completely unknown, and certainly doesn't have a massive game or anime behind it. I'm genuinely glad that it's gotten the glow up that it's gotten, because I've met the creator a couple of times at conventions, and Maxim Mike Pondsmith is a wonderful guy, and also has an amazing voice. If you've never seen an interview with him, go watch an interview with Mike Pondsmith, and you will hear his voice. He is wonderful. He is fantastic. And I'm glad he's getting the recognition through Cyberpunk, because now the current version is Cyberpunk Red and Cyberpunk 77 and Cyberpunk Edgerunners. And Edgerunners, oh man, that was such a good show. So painful, but so good. And like it's weird to me, because like I'm sitting here 20 years ago playing this game, learning all the slang like chum, chumbada, eddies, all that kind of stuff, and to hear people saying that stuff like on stream now when they're playing the game or after having watched the anime is just so wild to me that it's gotten that far, and I love it. I adore it. But like things like that, and you got the various 40K games, Star Wars games, some of which were D20 based. One of which was Saga Edition, was actually really good for the D20 ones. But I love the Fantasy Flight one, and because the Fantasy Flight one has just these weird, funky dice that I adore, that give you tremendous power for yes-anding, because they'll give you basically two variables. They'll give you success and failure, and advantage or disadvantage, or threat, as they sometimes call it. And so you can have a situation where, like, oh, you succeeded, but something bad happened, or you failed, but something good happened. And they've got like what's called a triumph and a despair, where it's like these are like a crit failure or a crit success. So normally like successes and failures get subtracted until whatever's left is what you get. Same with advantages and threats. But despairs and triumphs stay no matter what. So you can have a result with a despair and a triumph in it. So like, okay, what would be an example of that? Well, you remember in Star Wars where Luke and Leia are in the Death Star and they're getting chased by stormtroopers, and then Luke like shuts the door and shoots the blaster at the door controls and locks them out. And then they're at a big chasm where there's like bridges that are supposed to extend. Well, he blasted the door controls, but shut the door, which is a triumph. But he gets a despair, which is, but those were also the controls for the bridge. So now you have to figure out another way to get across. And stuff like that. And I love the freedom that gives you as a GM to just make shit up for like what happens next. And for players also, because it gives the players the option to say, hey, I got a triumph and I got some advantages here. Can I have this thing happen in the story, right? That gives us like another way out of here or another thing to do. And the GM can say, yeah. And it becomes a negotiation, but the players now have the freedom to affect things in the story. And I love that, because it gives the players more agency within the story and more like ability to do things overall. And so that's an aspect of that game that I adore. I just absolutely adore it. But people look at the funny dice and go, but how do I read it? So like I'm going to pull out some of the generic dice here. You can see just how much of a ridiculous person I am. Here's the generic version of these dice for the system that is called Genesis. And so there are many different kinds of dice. There are D6s, there are D8s, there are D12s. And so here's the spread of dice, generally speaking. So you have the D6s, the D8s, and the D12s. Oh yes, dice. And I have so many of these dice, because when Asmodee took over Fantasy Flight, I was just like, I'm buying everything I can immediately, because these are custom dice made explicitly for just like these couple of games. And if Fantasy Flight goes out of business, I want to have these because I'm going to run this system probably until the day I die. I love it so much. So basically, you have like, that's a success. That's a failure. And so if I rolled these all together, I'd basically go like this. And I'd go, okay. These are negative symbols. These are positive symbols. This actually works out pretty well. So I got 3 X's. These two counteract each other. And then these two counteract each other. I think I'd have to double check because these are slightly different from the ones I normally use. So what's this mean? Well, unfortunately, it means I failed and something bad happened. Now, if I had this instead of, and I'd now have, okay, these two cancel each other out, these two cancel each other out. These are the ones that are left. I succeed, but something bad happened. And then I would tell the rest of what happens. And what I love about this is that the negative dice and the positive dice are all rolled together and just paired off like that until you get the end result, which means you don't have to go, I roll attack, I roll defense. It's, here's my attack, chuka chuka chuka, all the dice, and all the bad guys' defense dice are in that pool. So it's automatically figured out. Now, it takes a little more time at the table, especially if you've not done it before. But when you're playing online and you've got the automatic dice rollers and whatnot, they can just figure out what the results are. And it's done automatically. And then you instantly know what the results are, and you can move on from there. And it's a very silly, but the other thing is also, I know people who they have calculation issues with normal dice, where you roll the dice and it's like, okay, I got this number and that number, and they get lost in their head of like the various bonuses. Here, it's all right in front of them. The symbols are right there. You just match them off. What you have left is what the result is. And so if you've got issues with doing math with dice normally, this is actually a really good system for you, which also could make it a really good system for kids who may not want to keep their bonuses in their head all the time. Because you look at your character sheet and you go, I got a +5 to this and a +7 to that, but there's situational modifiers and and you know, the complications. I can do most of that math in my head, and I often do. So I can like look at the result, know what the bonuses are for a given player, and just go, okay, your end result is 19 or 27 or 3. Here's what happens. Zipper is giving me trouble now. There we go. Yes, I have many dice case, and I have dice towers too. Well, I have a dice tower, but still. But yeah, so it's like, I adore TTRPGs. I've played them for so long. It's been such a big part of my life. And it's also, again, one of the reasons why I started doing voice work, so I could have, you know, the big bad guy talk like this. And I would have a voice changer, too. Like, I had a voice changer that I can't really use anymore for this because of reasons. But believe me, once I get access to, like, voice mod or whatever options are on here, I am going to go nuts. Okay, Kai, I love that. I don't have anything quite... I might have something somewhere for that. But I love, like, dice that are like that, where it's just like... Fuck! And... Woo-hoo! Or like, hell yeah! But yeah, so, like... It's difficult to do content, though, because, like, the problem is, like, there's a lot of people doing TTRPG stuff on streaming, and to watch it for 3 hours or 4 hours or 6 hours, heaven forfend, is a big ask. And not everyone's going to be down with the game that you choose, because, you know, unfortunately, the sad fact of the matter is that D&D is the big game on the market. And if you're not playing D&D, it's not going to attract as many people as, say, one of my favorite games right now, Lancer. I adore this game. And for a number of reasons. Not just because I like giant robots, though, believe me, and yes, the art is phenomenal for this game. The artist, well, one of the core creators for this game, is the artist for a webcomic called Kill 6 Billion Demons. And he does virtually all the art for this game. And it is, I'm just going to open this up. It is gorgeous in this book. This book is absolutely just one of the greatest books. Like the Star Wars, the Fantasy Flight Star Wars stuff also has fantastic art. Actually, as a quick aside, I'm just going to pull something out here because I have to show this because this is just one of my favorite things in any book ever. So, okay. Star Wars, wonderful art. But what I need to show you right now is one of the greatest things I have ever seen in a Star Wars piece of media. So in every one of these supplement books, because this is a small supplement book, they have new subclasses, new specializations for your different characters. So like, this guy's an entrepreneur. All right, cool. This guy's a marshal. Okay. The talent tree and everything. Then we have this, the performer. And so now, like, if you're thinking Star Wars, you're thinking performer, you're thinking like maybe those guys performing jizz music in the Mos Eisley Cantina, and I said that correctly. Or, you know, the Twilight Dancing girls. Well, here's a Twilight Dancing guy with no top on, and that art is top notch. I adore the art in these books. Because, yeah, exactly. Oh, my God. This dude. Because, like, here's the thing. When it comes to RPGs, when it comes to all this stuff, like, there's been a long history of, like, chainmail bikinis and all that stuff. But this dude, if you're going to have cheesecake in your game, just make it for everyone. Have a little bit of sexy stuff for everyone if you're going to have it in there at all. Just throw it in there. It's okay. Trust me. People are going to enjoy it. Because, damn. So that little aside, because I had to share that. Now let me show you some of the art in Lancer. Because, again, amazing artwork in this book. Like, I just opened to a random page and look at that spread. The circus is in town. If you know what I mean. But, like, look at this character design. Look at this stuff. This is, I love this so much. And, like, what kind of robots do you like? What kind of robots do you enjoy? Do you like kind of more diesel punky kind of guys? Do you like Jinro? Yeah. Definitely a vibe here, right? You know, definitely a... And this is one of the manufacturers. One of the manufacturers of robots. And there's 4. Well, technically 5. This one's one of my favorites. A very angry boy. I should. Yeah. Oh, and Lancaster is good. Lancaster is the best dog because Lancaster is actually the one of the few like support heal bots. Just this is the medic bot. Like this is what I'd be running around in, realistically. Also, it can be enlarged in the game and used as a mount by other robots. So you can have this like tremendous system where like other robots are riding this guy into battle. It's great. Or do you prefer perhaps sleek, high tech, stylish, elegant, bots of destruction? Do you like the circus. Do you like seeing things explode 3 seconds after you run past them? Do you like not being seen at all? By the way, all these companies have different names. So like this one here is IPS North Star, Interplanetary Shipping North Star. And they are, they all have lore. This group here, this is Smith Shimano Corporo. Totally not Wayland Yutani in space. Totally not. Wayland is a Smith, but that doesn't mean anything, does it? Now we have another one of my favorite groups, Horus. Now most of these guys are what they're called Corpo Nations. Horus is not. Horus has an actual mech called the Goblin. These guys are hackers. They're complete weirdos. This is the weird little guy who just gets in to everybody's communication systems and fills it with every meme they can find. And they get weird. They get real weird. They get very, very weird with these designs, and I love it. I adore it. You want a robot that breaks into smaller robots? Here you go. You want a chunky horse robot? There you go. And here's one of my favorite ones. The Pegasus. Looking like, the most crazy Evangelion robot in existence. And look at some of these things. Like, you don't even need to know what this means. Extrude gun. 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 By the way, I know everything. And I love this so much. Because, like, here we go. Mimic gun. This is not a gun. It says it right there. This is not a gun. What is it? Good question. Some of the terms here. Probabilistic cannibalism. You don't need to know what the ability does. Just know that name is cool as hell. And then, of course, you have Harrison Armory, the last major producer of these things. You want big, chunky boys with giant cannons? Do you like that one unit from StarCraft that always talks about things being on fire? This is your guy. Fire it up. I'm going to invite you to my barbecue. I'd like to talk about propane and propane accessories. But just all these robots are so cool looking. And like this is just like they've had supplements since. And it's a very like kind of crunchy game when it comes to the compact. When it comes to that, comes the combat. Also lasers. Pew, 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 all over the place. So like it's a big game, it's a big book. Only true lunatics drive this thing. But I love it. But like you have all this great stuff in here. And like you can see like here's how GMs set up missions. It looks like a war game. It is a war game when you play in a lot of respects. Player versus GM. But it's designed to make you feel like cool, badass mecha pilots. And like monstrosity as one of the enemies. You're fighting a kaiju. You're literally fighting a kaiju. That is the thing in the core game of just, you can be fighting other robots, or you can be fighting a kaiju. When Armored Core 6 came out, my Lancer group lost their minds. There was a video that went around by one of the major Lancer YouTubers that basically put Lancer terms into like everything that happened in the trailer. And it's true. There's a huge amount of just overlap there. But like this game gets weird. This game gets so weird. And you can have like this funny little guy who's got a big hammer and a big iron on his hip. and pair him with this robot that just can't die because time and space are a joke to it. And you can mix and match all these parts. So, like, you can grab, like, stuff from here and shove it in another robot and vice versa and all over. You can get really creative. And the creators of this game created a cool little program called CompCon that gives all the player-side information. So if you want to build the robots, you can just download the information, even for the supplements, and just, it's there. It's free. It's available to you. If you want the whole big rule book, the big PDF or whatever, you want to get, because they're reprinting it now with the help of Dark Horse coming next year. Not sponsored. I just love this game so much. And I mean, look at these character designs. It's so good. And you can just build funny little robots and that do weird things and have like gremlin characters. And I love it. It's part of my loving giant robots, because like I like this Heavy Gear. There was another game, TTRPG called Mechton Zeta, which and just, I've always enjoyed giant robots. I've always enjoyed TTRPGs. This one is one of the best games I've ever played as far as like combining the two, because it makes the combat feel like good giant robot combat without getting into like the ridiculous rules crunch that like BattleTech gets up to, where you like have to track all these like weird little things and points of heat and all that stuff. Or it doesn't feel loosey-goosey, like it's just, rebranded D&D, even though there's a lot of D&D in this book, mostly 4th edition in terms of design, and in a good way. But like, this game is a lot of fun. And if you enjoy like tactical puzzles in your combat, fantastic. The RP side is a little bit looser. They've done some supplement since it released, because it's just basically like everybody is a pilot. Everybody has like skills that they have. It's very just overall not super rules heavy on the roleplay side. They added some extra stuff to get some additional depth in some of the later supplements. But I adore this game on a number of levels. And nothing's perfect, but the art is gorgeous. And there's a lot of like fan supplements, and like this is a fan supplement that somebody made for the game, and it's got a very good kind of OGL kind of thing, like, hey, if you want to make content for this, here's the rules, but basically go nuts, do what you want to do. And yeah, it's great. I will always evangelize for Lancer, especially since like the developers are pretty chill, like a 2-man group that basically put that all out, with some contract stuff, but they just did it because they love giant robots, and they wanted a game where you could be a giant robot pilot. And like, you could, in theory, make a custom Gunpla and just go, hey, here's my character. He's got, the physical shield, he's got a beam rifle, he's got a beam saber, and there's different words for that in the game, but you can basically have all that on a robot, and it's not a big deal. And they explicitly made it so that the baseline robot that you get, which is called the Everest, has no stock model. It's so customizable. It's been in the Galaxy for so long that it's just how it operates, and the external bits can be whatever you want. Explicitly so, people could take their favorite Gundam or other giant robot model and make that their robot for the Everest. Explicitly for that purpose, so that you could just have this character be like, I'm piloting the Gundam New because it's my favorite Gundam, or what have you. And you can find a way to represent that in the game. So, sorry, I got started on a bit of a rant there, but thank you all for listening to that, because I go off. But yeah, so I love giant robots. I love TTRPGs. I may play at some point Armored Core 6 on the channel, because I need to play through that, and I only got so far, and I very much enjoy that game. Holy cow, is that a fun game. I may see if like because I know like Elden Ring had a co-op mod like for full co-op, and I know it's not co-op isn't really a thing in Armored Core 6, but boy howdy would I love to see some co-op in that game. Like there is a mech game I can do that is co-op, but it's Mech Warrior 5 Mercenaries, and that's a very different game. As much as I love Mech Warrior, because like I'm gonna ask, it's a hard ask to show me a robot or the giant robot thing that I don't like. There are problems I have with specific systems in how games are run, but like Mech Warrior, oh, I played Mech Warrior Online to death. I played Mech Warrior 1 through, well, not 1 through, but 2 through 4 like crazy. And the only reason I haven't really played the heck out of Mech Warrior 5 is because we had kind of a shaky launch. But just like there's this BattleTech like strategy game that's on PC that's it's so good, and just there's so much fun giant robot stuff. Like I want to play Phantom Brigade. I want to play Armored Core. I want to play Daemon Ex Machina, because that was kind of like an Armored Core analog that came out that I think maybe got FromSoft to say, hey, well, you know what? Maybe people would enjoy another Armored Core game. I don't know. I genuinely don't know if there was any connection between those two, but I noticed like Armored Core, like Daemon X Machina came out like last year or so, and this year we got Armored Core 6. I'm like, oh, awesome. I have no idea how long it took them to make Armored Core 6. I can't say for certain that it was, hey, let's, show them we can still do robots, but I'm glad they did it, because holy cow, that is a great game. But yeah. Ooh. So I got started on a big one. Wow, okay. I went on for a while there. I'm glad you all enjoyed it. But yeah, I have now completed the new Gundam. It was fun. I think I'm gonna have to resign myself to the fact that I'm gonna be doing this now. I'm gonna have to just I'm gonna be getting a display case, and I'm gonna be getting more robots. That's gonna be a thing. Man, sippy. Okay, I'll take another sippy. Oh, I have almost killed this huge bottle. But yeah, so before it becomes officially in certain time zones, Christmas Eve, I will say to all of you, thank you all for showing up. I appreciate you all being here. And I am... Oh, boy howdy. All right. Well, I have choices for where I can send everybody, and one of them is one I am both terrified to do, but also I'm told myself I would do eventually. But there are other people that we know who are on, and I'd like to send love to people who, I know a little more personally, as it were. So I'm glad you all had a good time. I had a blast. I'm gonna have to figure out tonight. I think I baby girled this on a little too much. I have to figure a way to work it back out. But regardless, this was really cool. Like I was also just surprised by the fact that the stickers were actually, I could have just bent the stupid cards and gotten the stickers off. I will have to remember that for the future. I went through all that trouble to get these stickers off. So I think what I'm going to do is, I've sent us all here before, but I think I will send us to, actually, wait, let's see. I want to see what's going on. I don't want to jump in if somebody's about to end. Let's see here. I'm just checking to see who's on and who's doing what. But, alright, I think that'll do. I had tools for this at one point. There was a button. A screen where I had a button. But, regardless, I will figure this all out and move us to the ending screen. But thank you all for showing up. Thank you all for hanging out. I hope you have a lovely time. If you celebrate Christmas, I hope you have a happy Christmas tomorrow and the day after, whenever you happen to celebrate. I know some people celebrate it on Christmas Eve and some people celebrate it on Christmas Day. If I don't see you again until the end of the year, have a happy new year too. I hope you all have a wonderful time, and thank you for hanging out. I was happy to have you, and hope you all had some fun. Have a good one, everyone.